Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. This is my very first update of my very first ever Pan Those Eyeshadows. I'm going to quickly tell you how my personal project works and then we'll get into the update. So the rules for me is I only have these two palettes. So I'm going to be pulling one shade from this palette and 4 shades from this one into my rotation, what rotates out. So if it rotates out from my Divina palette, it will rotate in from my Divina palette. Same with the Carnival 3. And I'm going to be having 5 eyeshadows in at all times, 1 from Divina and 3 from my Carnival 3. I'm going to be either rolling these shadows out through pan or 15 uses. If I roll it out, I can immediately roll it back in if I haven't hit pan. I'm going to try and keep it pushing with these. I don't use the most amount of makeup, so this is going to be a little bit of a slower, probably not going to hit that much pan project, but I'm still really excited to do it and show off my looks. I'm also going to be showing off every look I've done that includes all of the shadows, so you're going to see looks multiple times, and I'm just going to pull them up whenever I talk about the shades, and we're going to go from my least used shade to my most used shade. And also, I'm gonna actually grab my notes. Don't look at them too long, spoilers! But yeah, that's basically all the rules. If I get 2 shades that are the same, I'm going to prioritize my Divina palette because it's smaller. But most of the shades are different. So let's actually get into it. Oh my god, my voice hurts from being that on. Okay. So we're gonna start off with my Divina palette. My least used shade so far is called Parthenos. So it's in my little Divina palette. And it's this shade right here. So it looks pretty untouched. I've used it twice since we've started. Once in this look, as you can see over there, it's a little highlight. It's kind of under my glasses. But you can see I did a little bit of this. My makeup today was inspired by like a watermelon is what I was going for. But yeah, I've used this shadow twice. I think one of the reasons I don't use this shadow as much, this is how it looks by the way. It has like a little bit of a blue shift to a green. It's really, really pretty. I love it a lot. So you can see over here it's kind of bluish. You can see over here it's very green. On my eyes it's very green. It's a lovely shadow, but I wasn't sure really how to use it, but I think I've finally come up with what I want to do with this palette or with this shadow. So this is how it looks swatched out. It's so beautiful. I'll have pictures up here to show you what it looked like last month, what it looks like this month. And it's just this really beautiful shadow, and I wasn't sure what to do with it, but I think I finally figured out that the aesthetic I'm gonna go for with this shadow is like dark forest vibes. I'm thinking like dark witchy forest vibes. I'm thinking like evergreens at nighttime. I'm thinking like dark, mysterious, a little bit magical kind of vibes is what I'm gonna go with this shade. So I'm hoping to use it a lot more in the upcoming month. The next shade I have obviously comes from my Carnival 3 palette. And what I used the least was called JJ. So here's how the palette's looking. And JJ is this one right here. So oh god, of course there'll be pictures up, but it's that one right there. It's this pretty purpley with a little bit of blue reflex in it. Shimmer shade. Like I said, I only used it twice. Honestly, it would go with a lot of these purples in here, but because of the color story I have, every other color is on my lid right now. We have a red, we have greens. Because of the color story I have, I just haven't been using it a lot. And I think if I roll in a purple at some point, this is gonna get a lot more use, but for now, oops, sorry, let me show you the swatch I'm doing. But for now, it's just not a shade I reach for that much because there's other things that I like using more in this color story. But it is a really pretty shade and maybe I will get some more use out of it in the upcoming month, but I feel like this is going to be one that's in for a while. And I'm hoping to kind of pull in some purples, some pinks, to start using it more. Then the next shade is called Vanilla, and it's this shade right here. So Vanilla is a very light topper shade. I have it on the inner part of there you go, you can see right there. It's in there, and to get it to that opacity, I had to build it up a lot because naturally it's more of a topper shade, I've realized. So I've been using it to, I almost dropped it. I've been using it to top shadows to make them a little more pearlescent. Pearlescent's a great word, I love it. But to make it a little more pearlescent, to make things a little bit lighter, I used it in a green look with Tahiti Green, which we'll talk about actually next. Yeah, but it's a little light topper shade. I think I only used it once. Yeah, I only used it once before it was in this project. I've used it 3 times now for a total of 4 times. Over the course of the time I've had that palette. So I haven't used it that much, but I'm starting to figure out what I like to do with it. It's really nice in this look in particular. I think it's really lovely. So maybe I'll try and do this look again. And then we have Tahiti Green, and that is this bright shade over here. It's a shimmer shade. It's just like a really bright lime green shimmer shade. It's not the most impactful shimmer shade. I find a lot of the shimmers in the Carnival 3 palette are just not as impactful as any of the shimmers in my Divina palette. Divina shimmers are just out of control, but this is a really bright one. I've used it 4 times, 7 times in total, and it's this just like really bright, beautiful green shade. Look at that. But you do have to build it up a lot to get it to this opacity. It doesn't really go on the eyes as well as it swatches, to be honest. But if you build it up, it can look really nice. It's actually in my inner corner right now. Not that you can see it through my glasses, but it's there, I swear. But yeah, it's a really beautiful shade, but it does take some working up to get it there. And I've done it as, I did an all over green shade with like matte green with this on the center to have like a kind of light airy green feel. I've done it in the inner corner. I did a look with Parthenos on the top and then this on the bottom. It's just good for like a bright swatch of color. And then for my last look color, we have Blaze, and this has been used by far the most in this palette. So I used Blaze. Blaze is this bright red right here. This is Blaze, and I used it 5 times so far in this project, and then 10 times in total. So I'm just swatching it with my thumb because I don't want to go to the bathroom. But Blaze is a little bit chalky, so this is Blaze. It's just a very brilliant red, and I love this color. It's one of my absolute favorites. Even before this project, I used it, as you can see, 5 times. I use it a lot. It's one of my absolute favorites. Getting the swatch is, oop, did it. It's just so bright and so beautiful. I love this color. So I've used it in a couple different ways. I've realized you can use it with this pink that I have underneath my eyes. I tight lined the bottom with the red, and it just kind of makes it deeper. So I've been using it a lot that way because I love a bright pink look, especially in the summer. And then I've also used it, one of my favorite looks, ooh, look at this color story. It's so beautiful. But one of my favorite looks that I did even before this project would be doing red all up in the crease and then doing a black outline, just like the whole lid in black. And that's this look here. And I did that to play Darkest Dungeon because the color story is like reds and blacks. So I've also been doing a lot of looks inspired by the games I've been playing on Twitch, so that's been really fun. But that's one of my favorite looks. It's just so vibrant and impactful of a shade, and unlike Tahiti Green, it does not need to be built up as much. It's just like bright, 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 bright. And I'm very excited to use it. I have 5 uses so far. I'm hoping maybe to push myself next month and see if I can roll this shade out, because it would be nice to start rolling some shades out. But that's what I have for you guys. As far as dips go, like I said, not much has dips. Parthenos has no dip. Vanilla is starting to have a little bit of a dip. It's not big, but it's starting. Tahiti Green actually has a dip going, which I was not expecting for how many times I've used it, since I've only used it 4 times, but it started to develop a dip because I had to go into it so much to pack it on. JJ's developing quite a dip for only using it 2 times. It's really going quickly, so I imagine once I get to 15 uses, I'm gonna actually have a huge dip in that, which is really exciting. Blaze is kind of a patchy color, so it's getting a dip, and then some of my other colors that I've been using as companion colors for this, so like Key Lime, this bright green over here, has started to develop a little bit of a dip, so when I get into this shade, hopefully this year, that's gonna go a lot faster, because it's just a very not patchy color. It is also a little bit patchy, but it's just, it takes some building up, and also it's dry, it's kind of crumbly. Same with Chili Pepper. I've been using with my red looks with Blaze, and that's developing quite a dip. So I've been really enjoying using these palettes so far. It's been really fun to start doing makeup a lot more, and that's my first update. This is my little color story, and I'll see you all next month for the update of this. Bye, y'all. I always do that and then never. Bye.